Hi everyone, it's Nicole Moore at LoveWorks coming to you with another Flirty Friday tip. So today I want to talk to you about communication. A lot of you wrote in, how do I communicate with men? Specifically, how do I get them to open up? How do I get them to do what I want? So where a lot of women go wrong with communicating with men is that they go in assuming they know what's happening. And they come to the conversation with this energy of, sometimes it can be, accusation or I know what's happening, and you're not really understanding the guy or making an attempt to. So I have a communication formula that I teach my clients that really works to get a guy to open up, be open to being vulnerable with you, and also hearing a request of yours. So, for example, a lot of women will sometimes feel like their guy is pulling away, or he's closing off, or just not communicating as much, and they'll send some needy text, or they'll play a game where they pretend they don't even care, and none of that is real. Instead, here's what I want you to do. So let's say your guy's name is Scott. You would say, Scott, I could be wrong, but. So why do I want you to include I could be wrong? Because if you go to a man saying, I think you're ignoring me, I think you've pulled away from me, or whatever, you're not texting me enough, it's making me feel bad, any of that energy, you are backing them into a corner. You're saying, this is the way it is, I already know, and that guy has no choice. And a lot of guys, when they feel backed into a corner, they will defend, or they'll pull away. So when you say, I could be wrong, you are coming to the conversation with the perception of an open mind. You're actually saying, I think this might be happening. I feel this might be happening, but I don't know. And that will open the person up, because what you're saying then is, I'm actually open to hearing from you and your experience what is happening, rather than going into a conversation assuming I know what's happening. So for example, your guy was supposed to call you at 8 on Saturday and he didn't, or he's not texting you and you're assuming you know why. So you say, Scott, I could be wrong, but I feel like maybe you've pulled away a little bit lately. Is that true? So the important things are, I feel like, because you're owning this is my experience, not necessarily the truth, and then you go, is that true? What that will do is that will have the guy be in an open space where you're just saying, this is what I think I'm noticing. I could be wrong. Can you let me know if this is true or not? So can you feel the difference of the energy of, you didn't call me on Saturday at 8 and you don't care and you're making me feel bad or whatever. You know what it is, the thing that you do. When you say, I could be wrong, but whatever it is, I could be wrong, but, or another way to say it would be, let's say he didn't call you on Saturday at 8 and you feel like he doesn't care. You could say, Scott, I noticed that you said you were going to call me on Saturday at 8 and you didn't. And I could be wrong, but when you didn't call me, I felt like maybe you don't really care about me or care to talk to me. Is that true? And what he's going to do, if he does care, he's going to say like, oh my goodness, no, I do really care. Here's what happened. Or he's going to say, yeah, you're right. But whatever he says, it's not going to be this battle. It's not going to be this fight, because you're coming to the conversation with a clean, open energy. And then the man actually has a chance to show up for you and be honest and be vulnerable. So many women want a man to be honest, to be vulnerable, to show up. But we're not creating the space for that to happen. So when you simply come with this feminine energy, again, the formula is something like, I could be wrong, but whatever you're noticing. And when this happens, or when that happened, I feel or felt like X. And then, is it true? You'll have a way more open conversation than if you come with accusation. Now, here's a mindset thing though. If you're going to use this, you have to actually humbly get, ladies, that whatever you're thinking or assuming about the guy in your mind isn't necessarily true. You have to really be open to hearing his perspective. And if he tells you something, you have to believe it until shown otherwise, okay? So we're trying to remove the accusatory, aggressive, masculine, I'm against you, I have to prove you did something wrong and you hurt me energy. I'm not saying that you didn't feel hurt. If you felt hurt, you want to communicate it. But the way you communicate it makes all the difference on whether that man is going to hear you or not. So what I shared on today's Flirty Friday tip is a way to communicate what you want in a feminine way that really has a guy open up. I do this all the time, and it really, really, really works. So I hope this was helpful for you. I want to hear how you use this in conversation. If you have questions about how to apply this tip to your specific dating situation, you can go ahead and send me an email at nicole@loveworksmethod.com, and I'm happy to help. If you have a Flirty Friday question, if you want me to answer a question and shoot a video on your question, go ahead and click the link below and send me your question. Me and my team read all the questions. If we pick your question, we'll do a video on it and we'll let you know. I hope this Flirty Friday tip was helpful for you. Go ahead and use it with someone in your life this weekend, with a man, and notice the magic that can open up. Notice how that man can open up for you when you come not with an accusatory energy, but with a curious energy of, this is what I'm feeling and experiencing, but I could be wrong about it. You could be having a totally different experience, or your explanation or your reason could be totally different than what I'm thinking. I'm just curious to know. I just want to know if it's true. I just want to know your perspective. You're so much more open. And because you're so much more open, he is so much more open. Now, here's what I'll say. Sometimes when you feel hurt by a guy, it's hard to get into this state of curiosity because you're so emotionally charged. So what I always say to my clients is, if you're in a high degree of emotional charge, don't send the text. Do not make the phone call, okay? Wait until you've calmed yourself, until you felt all of the emotion or a good percentage of it, so you can actually come to that conversation with a clear, open, curious heart. Not, it's me against him, and I've got to prove that I'm right or prove that he hurt me or whatever. But we're on the same side. We want the same things. And my goal in this conversation is to get closer to him. Believe it or not, ladies, you can have a conversation with a man about why he's not calling or why he did something that you didn't like. And that conversation can be used to bring the two of you closer, more intimate, more connected than what so often happens, which is it brings you farther apart. So try this tip. Let me know if you have more questions about feminine communication or anything on love and dating. Click below, submit a question to Flirty Friday. And thanks so much for watching this video. Bye, ladies.